Neymar Jr., despite all the doubts, injuries, and endless debates, is still at the heart of Brazil's 2026 World Cup project? Yes, and what happened yesterday makes that clearer than ever. In a recent interview, Brazilian midfield General Carlos Casemiro made several powerful comments about Neymar. Comments that didn't just express admiration, but revealed quite openly that Neymar remains a central figure in Brazil's 2026 World Cup plans. And here's the key part. When Casemiro speaks, it matters. It matters because of who he is, what he represents, and most importantly, how deeply he is connected to Brazil's future head coach of the World Cup, Carlo Ancelotti. So in today's story, we break down why Casemiro's words are not just random praise. They're a direct signal about Ancelotti's vision for the Seleção, a vision that clearly includes Neymar Jr. at its center. Let's begin with the man behind the statement, Carlos Casemiro. Casemiro isn't just another footballer in the Brazilian squad. He is, for all practical purposes, the present-day leader of the Brazil national team. Black Small Square, a veteran of multiple major tournaments. Black Small Square, a dressing room general. Black Small Square, a respected figure across Europe. Black Small Square, one of the few players with long-standing ties to Carlo Ancelotti. And this connection with Ancelotti is extremely important. Their relationship didn't start at Manchester United, nor in the Brazilian national team. It began years ago at Real Madrid, where Casemiro played some of the best football of his life under the Italian manager. Ancelotti trusted Casemiro during his first spell at Real Madrid, and again in his second spell. And Casemiro, in return, continues to hold enormous respect for the coach. This long-standing bond means one thing. If there's any player who really understands what Ancelotti is planning for the Brazilian national team at the 2026 World Cup, it's Casemiro. And that's exactly why yesterday's interview matters so much. In the interview, Casemiro didn't hold back. He spoke clearly, directly, and with full conviction about Neymar Jr.'s importance to Brazil. Here's the exact essence of his statement. Without Neymar, it is almost impossible for Brazil to do well. When he's fit, he is incredibly important for us because he's like a player from another planet. If I have to give my maximum on the field just to pass the ball to him so he can score, then I will give everything I have. These are not small words. These are not diplomatic answers. These are not generic compliments for a teammate. This is an experienced leader, one of the players closest to Ancelotti, openly declaring that. Neymar is essential. Brazil cannot succeed without him. Neymar is still a player from another planet. Casemiro would give everything just to help Neymar score. If a statement like this comes from a young player, you can ignore it. If it comes from someone who barely knows Ancelotti, you can dismiss it. But when it comes from Casemiro, it becomes something much bigger. Why his statement reveals so much about the 2026 World Cup plan. Let's make one thing very clear. Carlo Ancelotti hasn't officially revealed his full World Cup plans yet. He is not publicly discussing the squad, the lineup, or who he will build the team around. However, Casemiro absolutely understands Ancelotti's football vision. This is the same coach who, Black Small Square, trusted Casemiro in the biggest matches. Black Small Square reshaped Real Madrid's midfield around him. Black Small Square won Champions League titles within. Black Small Square always valued his tactical intelligence. So when Casemiro speaks so confidently about Neymar's importance, it strongly suggests that he has a very good idea of what Ancelotti intends to do. And the message is crystal clear. Neymar is still central to Brazil's system. Neymar is still included in the long-term project. Ancelotti's Brazil will not be built without Neymar. The team's World Cup hopes still rely on him. Even if Ancelotti hasn't said it publicly, the insight from Casemiro is enough to understand the direction. Let's talk about why Neymar remains essential. Despite recent injuries, despite the debates, despite the criticisms, Neymar remains the most naturally gifted Brazilian player of this generation. Brazil's creativity suffers when he's not on the pitch. The team lacks spark, unpredictability, and the ability to break down tough defenses. Casemiro's statement highlights exactly that. He didn't say, Neymar is good. He didn't say, Neymar will help us. He said something much more powerful. Without Neymar, it is almost impossible for Brazil to do well. This one sentence reveals. Neymar is still seen as the difference maker. He remains unmatched in terms of creativity. His presence changes the entire team's dynamic. Even experienced players rely on him. Brazil's senior leaders still trust him completely. And that last point, the trust, matters a lot. When veterans like Casemiro openly show their loyalty, it builds unity and confidence in the squad. After Casemiro's comments, there should no longer be any doubt. Neymar Jr. is absolutely a major part of the 2026 World Cup project. Ancelotti may be keeping things hidden for now. He may be waiting to reveal his final plan. But the people closest to him, especially Casemiro, already understand the blueprint. And that blueprint clearly includes Neymar leading the attack, Neymar providing the creativity, Neymar being the focal point of Brazil's offensive strategy. Casemiro's statement didn't just praise Neymar. It confirmed that the doors to the World Cup remain wide open for him. When a footballer who knows Ancelotti, as well as Casemiro, comes forward and says, Neymar is essential. Without him, we cannot succeed. It becomes more than a personal opinion. It becomes a window into the manager's thinking. So yes, Neymar Jr. is still very much part of the 2026 World Cup plan. He is valued, trusted, respected, and expected to play a key role. And yesterday's interview just made that clearer than ever.